In this video, I'm going to be unboxing and giving my first impressions on the RTS Tactical Mini Shield from RTS Tactical. I did reach out to RTS Tactical and they sent me this shield to T&E. The reasons that I reached out to them is because of the price. I believe it's priced at $450 on their website. Officers just aren't going to pay $1,500 to $3,500 to buy a shield. And because of that, I think that this is a legitimate option for them to do so and still get the protection that they need. It's rated to stop 5.56 green tip and 7.62 full metal jacket. And also because of the way that the shield is set up, I think it's a legitimate option for officers in certain tactical situations. Now I'd say I have an above average experience with shields. At my job, there's probably 5 different shields that I could choose from or that I could pick up at any moment. And if I end up going somewhere or doing anything, I'm most likely going to have a shield in my hand. So I'm pretty familiar with what I look for in a shield and what I know other officers also look for in a shield. Now, RTS Tactical is really a rapid deployment company. So they sell things like ballistic shields, ballistic panels, and armor is really what they specialize in. I do have another item in the box that I'm not going to go over today. And after I spend some time with that item as well, I'll also come back and make another video on that. So I believe this one is the RTS Tactical Mini Shield, and so they have a small, a medium, and a large. And it is pretty small. It's not as heavy as I was kind of expecting it to be. At least it doesn't seem as heavy at the moment. On the back side, there's just your typical carrying handle, and they call this a trauma pad. It's meant to absorb some of the shockwave if it does take a hit. And then there's a strap down here to strap in your arm. So with the strap down here, it has this little bungee attached to the strap. So once you kind of get it sized up for your arm, you just get it over here and you can tighten it down pretty easily, it seems like. So it's pretty snug, not too tight. Now I will say, just right off the bat, one of the drawbacks of the shields that most of us don't like are the shields that have the straight bar across the top. Because in the manner in which you're forced to just kind of hold the shield to maximize protection, it's extremely uncomfortable on your wrist and your forearm to keep the shield pointed in this direction. So what often ends up happening is kind of start turning the shield. And there are other shields that actually have more of an angled bar, and you can loop your hand and so your arm is actually like this, and it's much more comfortable. You can carry it for longer periods of time without getting tired. Because these are bolted in right here. Quite frankly, I don't know if they have one available yet or if it's even an option, but theoretically they wouldn't even have to do a whole lot of remanufacturing or anything like that. They could just simply come out with an additional brace for your hand up here to grip onto that and just unscrew this one and attach the other one in. So if that's something that they did, I think that would be beneficial. So even just from holding it for this short period of time, it is pretty taxing, but it is a rifle rated shield, and pretty much all rifle rated shields are going to be much heavier than the pistol rated ones, and therefore they're just going to be more difficult to carry because they are heavy. After I go through and run around with this shield and do some work with it, really get to see how it is on your arm.
Frantic calls for help over police radio channel.
The distress calls to dispatch came one after another.
I'm being hit! I'm being hit! Somebody help me! Just cool down. We're coming to you. We're coming to you.
Right in front of the apartment is down. It's not responding, and the suspect is right there.
We have canines coming with ballistic shield. If you can do an officer rescue, perform one. Wait for a team.
There's several things that I look for in a shield. Maneuverability, being able to maneuver the shield through the threshold, inside of the structure, without getting caught in anything, hitting the threshold, bumping into things inside the structure. I've carried shields that basically cover your entire body, and it's just so difficult to maneuver with those shields. It's not ideal. Comfortability, if I'm given the shield and that's my job, I don't want to have to give it up to somebody else. And if you're carrying a shield for a significant amount of time, comfortability becomes a big deal. And then also being able to come up behind the gun with the shield in your hands. I've carried shields that are so wide it's nearly impossible for at least me to efficiently get behind my gun and put rounds on target. And of course this shield does not have a glass where you can hide behind, so you do have to expose yourself at least more than usual to put rounds on target. But once I do some training with this shield, I'll be able to figure out ways that I think that you can use it to maintain a tactical advantage. But my initial impressions is just that, well, one, it's heavy, which is expected. It's a rifle rated shield. The forearm grip is not ideal. I think there's better ways to go about doing that, but I still feel like before going out and being able to use it as of yet, that it is still a legitimate option for officers.